Most people think losing muscle after 50 is inevitable, like gray hair or wrinkles. But what if that wasn't true? What if some people kept the same strength, stamina, and energy they had in their 30s, even into their 70s or 80s? They exist, and scientists call them super-agers. These are men and women who somehow defy the clock. While others slow down, they stay sharp, active, and strong. So what's their secret? It's not expensive supplements or extreme workouts. In fact, research shows that most super-agers share a few simple habits that keep their muscles young, and anyone can start them at any age. Today, we're breaking down what really causes muscle loss after 50, the hidden mistakes that make it worse, and the powerful daily habits that help super-agers fight back and win. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could change the way you age, and it might surprise you.
Most people don't realize it, but muscle loss starts quietly, long before you even notice. By the time you hit your 50s, the body begins to lose about 1% of muscle mass every year. That might not sound like much, but over a decade, it adds up. And this process has a name: sarcopenia, the slow fading of muscle tissue that can change everything from your posture to your balance. Here's the tricky part. It doesn't just happen because you're getting older. Yes, age plays a role, but it's not the main villain. The real problem is how your body responds to aging. Slower protein synthesis, lower hormone levels, and a tendency to move less. When you combine those three things, your muscles don't get the signal to stay strong. Even worse, certain everyday habits speed things up without you realizing it. Skipping protein, sitting too long, not sleeping enough, they all send your body the same message: you don't need this muscle anymore. And once that message becomes routine, strength starts disappearing quietly, until one day, climbing stairs or lifting groceries feels harder than it should. But here's the good news. This process isn't permanent. Your muscles can respond again, just like they did when you were younger. And that's exactly what scientists noticed when they began studying a rare group of people who seemed to resist sarcopenia completely. They called them super-agers. So what are they doing differently? Let's look at what researchers found and how you can start doing the same.
When researchers first discovered super-agers, they were stunned. These men and women weren't just maintaining muscle. Their bodies looked decades younger on the inside. In MRI scans, super-agers' muscles appeared denser and healthier, with less fat and more strength fibers than people half their age. Their blood tests showed something even more remarkable: lower inflammation, better hormone balance, and faster protein repair after exercise. So, how are they pulling this off? One key factor seems to be how their bodies handle stress and recovery. Super-agers don't push themselves to exhaustion. They build consistent habits that keep their cells in repair mode. Instead of long, punishing workouts, they do short, purposeful movements that keep the muscles activated. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. Another difference is metabolic resilience, the body's ability to respond quickly to nutrients. When most people eat protein, only a fraction turns into muscle fuel. But in super-agers, the response is sharper. Their muscles absorb amino acids more efficiently, which helps them rebuild faster after every meal or workout. And scientists have found a strong connection between mindset and muscle health too. Super-agers stay curious, socially engaged, and mentally active. And that psychological energy seems to protect the body as well. In other words, they don't just train their muscles, they train their minds to stay young. But researchers didn't stop there. They wanted to know exactly what habits these people followed day after day, the small, repeatable actions that kept their muscles strong and their energy levels high. And when they compared super-agers' routines to the average adults, the differences were surprisingly simple, yet powerful. Let's break them down, one by one.
When scientists examined the lives of super-agers, one thing became clear. It wasn't luck. It was routine. They weren't doing anything extreme or expensive. Instead, they built small habits that worked quietly every single day to protect their muscles and keep their energy high. The first secret? Movement. Not hours in the gym, just consistent, intentional activity. Super-agers move more throughout the day, walking, stretching, taking stairs, even doing light chores. This constant movement tells their bodies, hey, these muscles are still needed. And that signal keeps them active and strong. The second habit is protein timing. Instead of eating one big protein-heavy meal, super-agers spread it out. A little protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner helps keep amino acid levels steady, so muscles stay in repair mode all day long. It's a simple shift, but it makes a massive difference in maintaining lean mass. Third, sleep. While most people underestimate it, super-agers treat rest like training. Because during deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, the chemical that helps repair and build muscle. Miss that window too often, and even the best diet can't save your strength. Then there's hydration. Muscle tissue is nearly 75% water, and even mild dehydration can make your body burn protein for fuel instead of using it to build strength. Super-agers stay hydrated throughout the day, not just when they're thirsty. Finally, the most surprising habit of all, resistance. They don't shy away from challenge. Whether it's lifting light weights, practicing yoga, or gardening, super-agers include some form of resistance in their daily lives. Because every time you challenge a muscle, even just a little, it sends the signal to grow. And here's what makes all this even more fascinating. Many of these habits aren't about fitness in the traditional sense. They're about teaching your body to stay alive, stay useful, and stay ready. But that's not the whole story, because scientists also discovered something deeper, a hidden biological link that separates those who lose muscle fast from those who stay strong well into old age. And it has everything to do with what's happening inside your cells.
Deep inside every muscle cell, there's a tiny engine, the mitochondria. These microscopic powerhouses decide how much energy your body can produce, how fast your muscles recover, and how well you age. Here's the twist. As we get older, these mitochondria don't just slow down, they shrink in both size and number. When that happens, your body's ability to build and repair muscle drops dramatically. Even if you eat well or exercise, your cells simply can't keep up. But when scientists looked at super-agers, their mitochondria told a completely different story. They were thriving. Super-agers had more active mitochondria, and those mitochondria worked more efficiently, producing clean energy instead of the fatigue and inflammation that make most people feel older than they are. So how do they keep their cells young? It turns out their daily choices directly influence mitochondrial health. Simple things like regular movement, quality sleep, and a balanced diet signal the body to make new mitochondria. Even short bursts of exercise, like climbing stairs or brisk walking, can double their activity inside the muscle fibers. There's another key factor too: oxidative stress. That's the damage caused by free radicals, the unstable molecules created from poor diet, pollution, or even emotional stress. Over time, they chip away at muscle cells and drain energy. But superagers seem to have a natural defense: higher levels of antioxidants and better cellular repair. Some of that comes from genetics, but most of it comes from diet. Foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3s, and anti-inflammatory compounds. In other words, superagers aren't just lucky. Their habits keep their cells young from the inside out. And that's where things get even more interesting, because what they eat and how they eat might be one of the most powerful anti-aging secrets scientists have ever found.
When researchers studied the diets of superagers, they found something surprisingly simple. These people weren't following extreme meal plans or cutting entire food groups. They were just eating in a way that kept inflammation low and muscles constantly fueled. The first thing that stood out? Protein quality. Superagers don't rely only on meat or supplements. They mix it up. Fish, eggs, beans, yogurt, lentils, and nuts all show up on their plates. This variety keeps amino acid levels balanced, which helps muscles rebuild faster and stay firm, even as the years go by. They also eat plenty of color. Bright vegetables, berries, and leafy greens aren't just good for the heart. They're loaded with antioxidants that protect muscle cells from the slow burn of inflammation. A bowl of mixed berries or a plate of spinach might not look powerful, but inside the body, those nutrients work like tiny shields, defending against muscle loss. Then there's healthy fat, and this might surprise you. Superagers eat a lot of it. Avocados, olive oil, salmon, and walnuts provide omega-3s that reduce inflammation and improve the way muscles respond to protein. Studies even show that omega-3 fatty acids help older adults increase muscle strength, especially when paired with resistance exercise. But maybe the biggest secret isn't what they eat, it's what they avoid. Ultra-processed foods, sugar-loaded snacks, and soft drinks quietly damage the body's ability to use protein efficiently. They cause insulin spikes that make muscle cells resistant to nutrients. Superagers skip these traps. They eat real food, in real portions, and rarely overdo it. And here's one more interesting detail. Many superagers eat within a 10 to 12-hour window. That doesn't mean starving themselves. It just means letting the body rest from digestion for part of the day. This mini-fast gives cells time to repair, which supports mitochondrial health and reduces inflammation, both crucial for keeping muscle mass intact. So yes, the superager diet isn't about restriction, it's about renewal. Every bite supports repair, every meal fuels strength. But there's another piece of the puzzle, something that's harder to see, but just as powerful as nutrition. Because no matter how strong your body is, if your mind gives up, everything else follows.
If there's one thing that truly separates superagers from everyone else, it isn't just what they eat or how they move. It's how they think. Researchers found that the strongest people in their 70s and 80s share a mindset that defies the typical aging story. They don't see themselves as old. They don't live cautiously or avoid challenges. Instead, they approach life with curiosity, purpose, and resilience, traits that seem to protect both the mind and body. One study from Northwestern University found that super-agers had thicker brain regions linked to motivation, focus, and emotional control. In simple terms, they stay driven. They keep learning, moving, and connecting with others, and that mental energy seems to ripple through their physical health. But it's not about being endlessly positive or pretending that aging doesn't happen. Super-agers still face struggles, pain, loss, fatigue, but they respond differently. They adapt. They look for ways to stay active even on bad days. And that consistency, more than anything else, keeps their bodies young. Stress management is another major key. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol, a hormone that breaks down muscle tissue over time. Super-agers have learned how to manage that through routines, laughter, mindfulness, and community. They know when to push and when to rest. And maybe most importantly, they hold on to purpose. They wake up with a reason to move, whether it's taking care of a garden, mentoring someone younger, or simply staying independent. That sense of purpose doesn't just motivate them emotionally, it actually triggers biological changes that protect muscle and cognitive health. So while most people focus only on the physical side of aging, super-agers understand something deeper. The mind drives the body. And when your mind stays young, your muscles tend to follow. But what happens when someone doesn't follow this path? What if these habits are ignored for too long? That's where aging can take a darker turn, and the difference between a strong, independent life and one filled with fatigue becomes strikingly clear.
Ignoring muscle loss might feel harmless at first. A few stairs feel harder, carrying groceries takes more effort, but the effects are far more serious than most people realize. Sarcopenia doesn't just make everyday tasks tougher. It increases the risk of falls, fractures, and hospitalizations. Studies show that falls caused by weak muscles send hundreds of thousands of seniors to the hospital each year, many of whom lose independence afterward. Beyond injuries, muscle loss affects metabolism, energy levels, and even brain health. Weak muscles burn fewer calories, which can lead to weight gain and insulin resistance. And there's growing evidence that the same habits that preserve muscle, movement, proper nutrition, and mental engagement also protect cognitive function. The scary part is that most people don't even notice they're losing muscle until it's too late. What starts as small weakness can quickly snowball into mobility issues, making daily life dependent on others. But here's the key takeaway. This isn't inevitable. Even in your 70s or 80s, research shows that targeted exercise, proper nutrition, and the mental habits of super-agers can restore strength, prevent further loss, and dramatically improve quality of life. The difference is simple. You can either let muscles fade quietly or take control now, adopting the habits that scientists have found to keep super-agers strong and independent. And that's exactly what we'll summarize next, the full blueprint of habits that keep muscles, energy, and independence intact far into old age.
So, what exactly sets super-agers apart from the rest of us? It's not magic, genetics, or luck. It's the daily choices they make to keep their bodies and minds strong. Let's recap the most powerful habits that research shows can preserve muscle, energy, and independence well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Progressive resistance training. Gradually challenge your muscles with targeted exercises, focusing on compound movements and proper form. Neuromuscular connection work. Activities like dancing, tai chi, or coordination exercises keep the brain-muscle link sharp. Anti-inflammatory diet and nutrition. Eat high-quality protein, plenty of colorful vegetables, omega-3s, and minimize processed foods. Mitochondrial and cellular support. Short bursts of movement, sleep, and minor stressors, like cold or heat exposure, help cells stay young. Vitamin and mineral optimization. Keep vitamin D, magnesium, and trace minerals at optimal levels to support muscle repair and growth. Mindset and purpose. Stay curious, engaged, and stress managed. Your mental energy drives physical vitality. Consistent daily movement. Walk, stretch, lift, or simply stay active every day to send the body the message muscles are needed. What's remarkable is that these habits aren't extreme. They're doable. Small, consistent steps that can transform the way you age. Start with just one habit. Build it into your routine and layer the others over time. And you could see strength, independence, and energy improve dramatically. The truth is this: age doesn't have to dictate your strength. Your muscles, energy, and mobility can thrive if you give them the right signals. Every meal, every movement, every choice. So here's your challenge. Pick one habit today. Whether it's adding a protein-rich breakfast, taking a short resistance session, or practicing a coordination exercise, start now. Because building strength and independence isn't just about living longer. It's about living better. And now it's your turn. Are you following any of these super-ager habits already? Which one surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know how you're taking control of your strength today.
Thank you for watching and taking the time to learn about these super-ager habits. Remember, building strength and independence is a journey, and every small step you take today can make a huge difference tomorrow. We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Are you already practicing any of these habits, or is there one you're excited to start? Don't forget to subscribe and follow us so you never miss more tips that can help you stay strong, healthy, and independent. Your journey to a stronger, more energetic life starts now, and we can't wait to hear about your progress.